Tutorial, I'm going to show you a very simple and common use case on how to set up a daily report from your Google Ad Manager account to upload the reporting into a Google spreadsheet in order to maybe use that as pivot table data, send it to your boss, send it to your client, etc. But in the AdOps world, it's a very common role to do daily reporting or weekly, monthly, quarterly, some kind of ad reporting for further analysis. So I'm going to show you how to get that set up here in just a few easy steps. Step one is to use one of our pre-fabricated templates from this page. And once you load up a template, it's going to look something similar to this. And the first thing we're going to need to do is focus on the steps that have the red bubbles. Okay, those are steps that need some attention. And we'll start here with the trigger step. And our trigger is to create a schedule. And what a schedule does is it starts a timer, and that timer is going to wait for the proper date and time that you specify in order to run the report. So it's a scheduler. So we'll click into that step, and we're going to go to the event, and the event is going to say create schedule. It should be pre-populated. We'll hit continue, and this schedule is set up every day at 4 p.m., which is the UTC time switch, which is sort of ubiquitous with all ad server technology. So we'll leave that as is. We'll hit continue, and we should get a test here. Let's go ahead and test that, and it looks like our webhook is now created. We get this created is true, and we get a little current timestamp here. So now we're going to hit continue. And the next thing we're going to want to focus in on here is to get the current date and time. And so we'll hit continue and test action. And so now this is going to output our current date and time. We're going to use this in a future step. We'll hit continue. And then what we're going to do is click in. Even though this bubble is green, I think we still need to give it some attention here. So let's look at this next step here. We're supposed to add or subtract date. I believe we're going to be subtracting date. We're going to subtract 1,080 days from this current date, which is roughly 3 years. We want to pull a full 3-year report for this. So let's go ahead and hit continue. Oh, and we're going to output it in this format of year, month, date. And so if you hit this drop down, you can see the different formats that Workload has available, and Google accepts this. It's called ISO 8061 date timestamp. So we'll leave that as is. We'll hit continue. We'll test the action, and now we get this year 2020 and July 12th. So that was roughly 3 years ago. And then we're going to format that date, and we'll click on action, and this should already be kind of set up. So we'll just hit continue and test action. We should get a new date for Google Ad Manager. So that brings us now to the meat and potatoes here of the step. We'll click on the Google Ad Manager step because it's got the red bubble. And we're going to select account because it has the yellow warning lamp. And we need to select our Google Ad Manager account. So your screen will look something like this. It's going to be looking for your Google Ad Manager account, so just select the appropriate one that's connected to your work and hit OK. Make sure you check the boxes to allow all the permissions, and we'll just leave that as is. Let's see, do that, we'll hit continue, and then you'll want to select your network ID. Just make sure it's mapped to your appropriate network that you have specified in Google Ad Manager. And then for report dimensions, you want to include this in all caps: line underscore item underscore ID, comma, line item name, all caps, with a space in between the comma. In the report columns, we want ad server impressions. And then our PQL statement. This is the publisher query language from Google. There's a whole document about that in the Google support docs, but essentially this is also found in your report builder inside of the Google Ad Manager UI. So just copy that into this box here. And then your start date and end date should be right there as such. So we'll hit continue. And you can hit test action if you want to pull the actual data and take a look at it. So I think we're just going to leave ours as is. And then here for the CSV utility step, we'll click on action, and you should have a download URL now from your prior step. And we'll hit continue. Don't test it yet. And then right here for Google Sheets, what you want to do is select your Google Sheets account. So for me, that's mine. If you don't have one already selected, you'll have a button here that says sign in. And so just sign into your Google Sheets account using the pop-up, and then you'll hit continue. And then you'll hit a drop down to select your spreadsheet ID. So a list of spreadsheets will be available here. So select the proper spreadsheet that you want to dump this to. And then select the sheet name, same. So you're going to want to select the sheet name. It'll all be available there to select from, all the sheets and all the tabs basically inside of your spreadsheet. And then your start column and your end column basically is going to be column A usually, and then your end column is going to be like how many columns do you have off to the right? What column letter is that in? For us, it's C, and we want to keep our header. So we don't want to delete our header row. So assuming that like we have data in this sheet that exists, we want to clear that first before adding the new data into it. So we'll hit continue, and then you can test your action. It should clear data from your spreadsheet tab. And then finally, we're going to come in here, we're going to create a spreadsheet row. So I'm going to select my account, but again, you should be selecting your own account there. We'll hit continue. It's same thing, select the same spreadsheet, the same worksheet, and for the range, you're going to basically use the same kind of like Google formula style range nomenclature. So quote, and then your tab name, end quote, exclamation point, and then where do you want us to put the data starting from where. So for us it's A2 because A1 is our column name. And then the row data, that should already be populated from the output of the prior step from here, the CSV utility when you're importing from Google Ad Manager, you're importing those rows. So those should be mapped to this field here, and you just do it like this. If not, you click on rows. Now I have two, but so that's that, and you hit continue. And you test your action, and then when you go into your Google spreadsheet, you should be able to see that the data is now sitting in there from your Google Ad Manager account. And the last thing to do finally is to turn this on, and then just kind of sit back and relax, because what's going to happen now is every single day at 4 o'clock UTC time, this thing is going to run, and it's going to go pull out all the data from your Google Ad Manager account, and it's going to clear out your spreadsheet, and then it's going to dump in all the fresh data into that same spreadsheet. And then all your pivot tables will update on the front end of your workbook. Your dashboards will refresh, and life will be good. Thank you.